Hey, if it's Tuesday, we must be doing our daily lectionary reading. It is January 25th, and today we have Psalm 119, 89 to 96, and it is day 2, so we will read it out of the Message translation. And we have Jeremiah 36, 11 to 26, and 2 Corinthians 7, 2 to 12. Psalm, excuse me, Psalm 119. What you say goes, God, and stays as permanent as the heavens. Your truth never goes out of fashion. It's as relevant as the earth when the sun comes up. Your word and truth are dependable as ever. That's what you ordered. You set the earth going. If your revelation hadn't delighted me so, I would have given up when the hard times came. But I'll never forget the advice you gave me. You've saved my life with those wise words. Save me. I'm all yours. I look high and low for your words of wisdom. The wicked lie in ambush to destroy me, but I'm only concerned with your plans for me. I see the limits to everything human, but horizons cannot contain your commands. Let's look at Jeremiah 36, 11 to 26. When Micaiah, son of Gemariah, son of Shaphan, heard all the words of the Lord from the scroll, he went down to the king's house, into the secretary's chamber, and all the officials were sitting there. Elishama the secretary, Delaiah son of Shemaiah, Elnathan son of Achbor, Gemariah son of Shaphan, Zedekiah son of Hananiah, and all the officials. And Micaiah told them all the words that he had heard, and when Baruch read the scroll in the hearing of the people, then all the officials sent Jehudi, son of Nethaniah, son of Shelemiah, son of Cushai, to say to Baruch, bring the scroll that you read in the hearing of the people and come. So Baruch, son of Neriah, took the scroll in his hand and came to them. And they said to him, sit down and read it to us. Baruch read it to them. And when they heard all the words, they turned to one another in alarm and said to Baruch, we must certainly report all these words to the king. And then they questioned Baruch, tell us now, how did you write all these words? Was it as at his dictation? Baruch answered, he dictated all these words to me, and I wrote them with ink on the scroll. And then the official said to Baruch, go and hide, you and Jeremiah, and let no one know where you are. Leaving the scroll in the chamber of Elishama the secretary, they went to the court of the king, and they reported all the words to the king. Then the king sent Jehudi to get the scroll, and he took it from the chamber of Elishama the secretary, and Jehudi read it to the king and all the officials who stood beside the king. Now the king was sitting in his winter apartment. It was the 9th month, and there was a fire burning in the brazier before him. As Jehudi read 3 or 4 columns, the king would cut them off with a penknife and throw them into the fire, into the brazier, until the entire scroll was consumed. I lost my place. Until the entire scroll was consumed in the fire that was in the brazier. But neither the king nor any of the servants who heard all these words was alarmed, nor did they tear their garments. Even when Elnathan and Delaiah and Gemariah urged the king not to burn the scroll, he would not listen to them. And the king commanded Jeremiel, the king's son, and Sariah, son of Azrael, and Shelemiah, son of Abdiel, to arrest the secretary Baruch and the prophet Jeremiah. But the Lord hid them. Just such a it's a great image there, the way they bring it. As he would read this scroll, it got so far, he would cut it off and throw it in the fire. Cut it off and throw it in the fire. I mean, can't you just visualize that? He was listening to it, but he was obviously unhappy about what he was hearing and was not going to pay any attention, but he didn't want anyone else to be able to hear it. That's a great visual. All right, 2 Corinthians 7, 2 to 12. Paul's joy at the church's repentance. Make room in your hearts for us. We have wronged no one. We have corrupted no one. We have taken advantage of no one. I do not say this to condemn you, For I said before that you are often in our heart. You are in our hearts to die together and to live together. I often boast about you. I have great pride in you. I am filled with consolation. I am overjoyed in all our affliction. It's a strange word, right? We're overjoyed in our affliction, but that's Paul for you. For even when we came into Macedonia, our bodies had no rest, but we were afflicted in every way. Disputes without and fears within. But God, who consoles the downcast, consoled us by the arrival of Titus, not only by his coming, but also by the consolation with which he was consoled about you, as he told us of your longing, your mourning, your zeal for me, so that I rejoiced still more. For even if I made you sorry with my letter, I do not regret it, though I did regret it, for I see that I grieved you with that letter, though only briefly. Now I rejoice, not because you were grieved, but because your grief led to repentance. For you felt a godly grief, so that you were not harmed in any way by us. For godly grief produces a repentance that leads to salvation and brings no regret, but worldly grief produces death. For see what earnestness this godly grief has produced in you, what eagerness to clear yourselves, what indignation, what alarm, what longing, what zeal, what punishment. At every point you have proved yourself guiltless in this matter. So although I wrote to you, it was not on account of the one who did the wrong, nor on account of the one who was wronged, but in order that your zeal for us might be made known to you before God. And that's our lectionary read for Tuesday, January 25th. I'll see you later.